Hello, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful week. I don't know how long I'll be able to stay this morning, this afternoon, late night, whatever it is where you're at. But I thought I would come on while I had the chance since I slept through my previously scheduled live and go over Nick Houck's polygraph results with the FBI examiner. Give me just a second here and I'll start it. FARQ, if you're listening, I hope you get to feeling better.
Well, Nick, I've had a chance to review your charts on my test. That first test, you did not pass the test.
And this was from the Nelson County Gazette. They put this on their YouTube channel.
I mean, that you have fully truth to that. And the questions you're having a problem with, the third question was about prison. And in particular, the one about whether or not you know what you're doing. And I treat police officers in these circumstances like I would myself.
How are you, Brittany Blue Eyes?
I'm not going to go through all the interrogation nonsense. You and I are on the same page. But again, I'm also going to tell you the complete truth as we're sitting here. And it's no longer a matter of wondering, do you know anything about what happened? We'll pass that now. And I'm crystal clear with it. I give everybody a good, fair test. I'm no longer asking.
I'm going to slow it down a little bit, guys. I can't quite understand them as well as I could the last interview on 1.5.
With that is entirely up to you. Really, all to read. So you can get the sick with phone book and all that. I'm talking to you man to man as a fellow law enforcement officer. The time has come for you to think real hard about the rest of your life. This is you. I'm not talking about Brooks or anybody else. And I'm telling you facts life. I'm an old guy. I'm not trying to be a father figure here, but I'll tell you, I'm doing this for 25 years, the way that this panned out. When the FBI gets involved in this investigation, I want you to listen to one thing. You don't have to say anything to me. You do whatever you want to do. As I said, you may never even be an FBI agent, right? But once you get on the radar, we don't go away, unless there's a reason to. I thought there would be. You didn't pass this, and there's some other information there as well. So I guarantee we're not going away. Right? The FBI has unlimited resources in terms of forensic information, electronic information, many bodies as you want to pour out there, do surveillance and look through everything that's ever gone on. We will find Crystal. I have zero doubt about that. As a matter of when it's going to be and why. And inevitably, what's going to happen is one of a couple of things. We'll determine exactly if she's injured and dead, which she in likelihood is. You've come to that conclusion yourself. Mm-hmm. The way that happened and the means in which it happened. Now, I know what your relationship is with your brother. It's a tight relationship, but in a unique kind of way. You have a little different relationship, and it's actually, I'm not trying to make it similar to what mine and my brother are. Close, but in a very different way. And no doubt in my mind that you've spoken with him about what happened. You know essentially what happened. And whether or not it was something staged out and planned in terms of I'm going to make it go away, or if it was something that was, I hesitate to say an accident, but something that was not intended to do. My hunch is, I don't know, because I don't have the physical evidence in front of me to know, but 99% of the time of these, it's something that was not intended, a push, a shove, somebody trips it, or whatever. Have no idea. We find her, we're going to know, no doubt about it. And we will. And at that point,
he just looks like he knows that he's caught in his face.
They're no longer
my
going
opinion.
To ask Brooks what happened. They're going to know what happened, and they're going to prosecute, assuming a worst case scenario, because everybody had an opportunity up front to say, "Whoa, time out! It's a horrible, horrible thing. I got scared. Let me just tell you what happened." Nobody's going to want to hear that anymore, because all your testimony in the grand jury, all his in the grand jury, the interviews that were recorded, where there are demonstrable lies about things that were said. That's all put in front of a jury and or a judge. You know, even in the system. And people are going to look at it in its totality and say, well, now they're saying it was some kind of an accident or they didn't intend for it to happen. Why didn't they just say that last month, last year, 5 years ago, whenever it may be? And what's going to end up happening is people end up getting prosecuted and they look for the most significant sentences they can for people. And then people start cutting deals and who's going to get the reduced sentence and blah, you know how that all works. Point is, at that point, it's out of everybody's control. If we're going to get involved as the FBI and expend all these resources, then we're going to just assume the worst and go forward. If at this stage, however, and I'm just giving you the facts to lay out, these are not things, I have no doubt you pondered this since the very first day this all occurred. Mm-hmm. But I want you to refresh it in your mind. You think about it however you want to. What everybody that I've talked to believes is this was something that was not a planned out murder for hire type thing of that nature. It was about a relationship and something that happened flared up.
I've skimmed through it recently and brought back some memories. He's definitely a Mr. Know-It-All in this, and he does get very defensive.
Nobody's pointing to saying it's that kind of relationship. again, I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that's sitting there right now, and there's plenty of it. And I don't know the additional evidence that's going to come out as this goes forward. We're just getting started on an awful lot of things. But rest assured, it's all going to be laying on a table where you can now point and say, okay, this is it. And whether it be a circumstantial type of a case where it's just you put together the totality and it's so overwhelming that there is only one conclusion that a jury can draw, that's probably how this is going to work out. Unless somebody wants to step up and be a man and say, look, here's the deal. This is what happened, and make it better. I'm telling you, 25 years of doing this, it always works out for the best. And that's what happens. People aren't going to come in. You know the deal. Once you've interviewed a lot of people in your career. I'm quite sure. More than a few, I would bet. You've been a lot for 11. An interview can be as simple as talking to people or a traffic stop. Right? Mm-hmm. You know people is my point. And in talking to those people, you pretty much know what happens. You've been around kids before. You know, if you ask them a question and they say something, you know pretty much right away. Well, that's what I do kind of on steroids. And I mean, it's obvious. Looking at your interviews before, it was already obvious that you're not being truthful about some things. Okay? To me, it was equally obvious that you're not somebody that had a major role in anything that happened as far as her disappearance to me. Some other issues, in fact, I don't know. That's my assessment. When we start talking about her, where she is right now, you know, when somebody fails a polygraph, the reason I did a test like this, you saw that numbers test, right? When I had you write the number 5 and I had to tell me that you didn't write it, and it jumps off the screen that you're telling me the truth. Mm-hmm. There's areas right off of that list you did the exact same thing, and you know where they are. And what that is a guilty knowledge test. That's what we call it. And what that is your heart and your mind betraying what your body knows to be the truth. My master's degree is in forensic psychophysiology, which means the mind and the body interacting to determine the truth in an interview setting. That's what I do. This is actually admissible in court because it's scientifically valid. So when I say you know more than what you told me, I'm not guessing that. Okay? And when I tell you, polygraph, you didn't do well. I don't show people pictures. I'll show you. You probably don't care, but just so you know the facts. It's results on your test. Sexually indicated, 100%, and greater than 99. What's greater than 99? 100, right? What are the questions? Do you know where Crystal is right now? Are you hiding any information about what happened to Crystal? Okay. You didn't tell me the truth on both of those questions. So, I mean, I'm telling the truth. I'm not going to sit here and make up much stuff and try to read techniques with it. We're past that. So the cat's out of the bag as far as
you don't have odd reaction to that. And an odd look on his face.
I'm not going to play the games with you as detective doing all the read stuff and everything else. I'm telling you. Two individuals who know the way investigations work, what the facts are. And the time is now, today, to start fixing this problem. You know, we can talk all about Crystal and how we need to get her a proper burial, and her family needs closure, and her son needs closure, and all those things are true. But you know that. But you're a realist. You deal with them the today, and they're going forward. You kind of said that, basically, in the interview the other day. People were concerned about why isn't Brooks acting differently with what's happened here? You know, his girlfriend, mother's child is missing, and he's happy-go-lucky, essentially. Well, people react to things in different ways, and I get that. That's why I say your relationship with him is a little different than others. It's a close relationship, but it's different than others might perceive. I'm the same way. It's an introvert's way of dealing with things. Introvert doesn't mean shy. It means you deal with things from an internal locus. We all do. I'm very much that way, so I get that. But that's why I'm not going to go into all these things about getting her a proper burial in the family and getting her back so their son can visit the grave and all that. We all know that to be true, and you've already thought about that. You're dealing with that internally. What you're dealing with going forward is you, and more importantly, your brother. Your role in this, I'm assuming, because I wasn't out there to see exactly what you did or didn't do.
Was nothing.
Well, and I'm not asking you.
Okay, we'll go ahead. I mean,
you did. I've already shown you, so I'm not asking you if you did or didn't.
Okay, okay.
And we both know that. It's I'm not trying to be funny, but it's crystal clear, right? What happened here. Now, the details of who did what when, can I tell you exactly? No, but I can demonstrably point out through forensic evidence already the things that you told us about where you were at various times are demonstrably not true. We can prove in front of a jury today that you were places that you said you weren't. That's just one example. Again, I'm not asking for, I'm telling you the facts of what happened. You believe whatever you want about what I'm telling you. But I get paid to be truthful with people. Right? I'm here, my whole point today, when I'm doing a polygraph examination, I'm working for you, working for the person in that chair. This is about a quest for the truth. And we're much closer today to the truth than we were when you first walked in that door. You can deny, that's fine. Some people do. Well, that's what you've done at this point. And it's human nature. You know, when people are asked questions about a matter such as this, they immediately circle the wagons and start telling, well, out of self-preservation, we all.
Man, let me just cut you off. I mean, do we need to take this any further?
I would like to take it to the truth. That's the whole reason we're here.
It's a test, though. I mean, you're talking crazy.
Well,
I mean, you're talking
was
crazy.
that
You
your
said,
rehearsed response to what was going to happen today? Because it sure sounds like it.
I don't know what it sounds like. I'm just telling
Well,
you.
I'm telling you what it is.
You're talking crazy.
What's crazy about it? Explain to me.
The accusations you're making.
Yeah, I'm
What
saying
about you,
you're
man?
involved in this.
Absolutely not.
Well,
None.
you already told me that. That's why we did the polygraph, to find out. Well, now we both.
I told you what now?
You told me before you had nothing to do with it. Right?
Yes.
Well, now we're past that because I've already shown that you did have something to do with
I don't know what the
it.
test.
I just showed you.
Okay.
I just showed it to you.
But I'm telling you, I did have.
And I'm telling you you're lying. I mean, I can't make it any. I'm not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm just telling you the truth.
That's what I'm doing to you. I'm telling you the truth.
No, you're not. We're past that. I've already shown you.
I've taken the polygraph. Do you have anything else for me? Because I mean, I'm not going to sit here and we're not going to go back and forth like this.
You do whatever you want to do. I said
I mean, I want to cooperate with you. I mean, I'm not
Well,
here.
tell me what happened. Tell me what you know.
I don't know anything.
We're past that. You've already shown me that you do.
I know
Well,
nothing.
we've established you don't know
That's all right.
anything, Nick. He
Well,
doesn't know.
I
That's his
showed you.
favorite line. I don't know.
I showed you yours.
Man,
And I even went the extra step for you to find out, okay, well, let's try to nail down what you know more about. You know more about this? Who would know? Am I saying that you did it or you don't know? I'm just saying you know more than we did. Whether that's a simple conversation with your brother or whether you were physically involved out there, I can't tell you. Either one of those things would explain what I'm seeing. My hunch is it's something that your brother told you.
I don't know anything. He has not spoken with me about this.
Well,
He's my
I'm glad
brother.
you said that because he probably would know better than to say specific things. So it's a matter then perhaps of what you observed, what you saw other people say. I don't know. I wasn't there. All I'm telling you is objectively, that's what we do. You and I do. That badge on there is what? It's to protect society. That's what a shield is, right?
Yes.
That's what we do. And I'm protecting you just as I would anybody else. But at the end of the day, I'm protecting one thing, and that's the truth. And objectively, looking at the facts, even if I were to take this out of the equation, why would somebody on numerous occasions in a formal interview under oath over there say something they know isn't true? Why would they do that?
Well, you know about me?
About you?
Yeah, the interview last time that we watched, the one right before his polygraph, he was 99.9% sure about something that he had done, but he was 100% sure that Brooks did not do anything to Crystal, and I found that very funny, that he was 100% sure of his brother, but only 99% sure of himself.
Well, I mean, do you think it would have anything to do with being a little irritated about how things are going? I mean,
Well, that's why you lied?
I didn't lie.
Well, I'm telling you, you did. I mean, I can show that already. It's not even.
Tell me about one of the lies.
Well, I'm not going to do that unless you're going to help me to understand the reason behind it.
Dude,
I'm not going to lay out all the evidence that they do or don't have, but I can tell
I
you.
didn't ask you. I said, tell me about something I lied about.
That's what we're talking about. In the grand jury, you said places that you were not. When I asked you specifically a moment ago about whether or not you were ever at certain places, and you told me no, well, I already knew when I asked that question that that wasn't true because I can place you there. Those are just examples.
Are you talking about the video out there in the driveway?
No, I'm not.
Okay, I don't know what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
But I can promise you that I have been 100% honest with you.
No, that's what everybody, 100% on. That's just you take read technique stuff. That's what everybody says. I'm 100%. I'm 110% honest. That's not it. Look, there's either the truth or not the truth, right?
And that's why I gave you the truth.
Well, but you didn't. And I've already shown that. I need benefit of that before you come in. I'm assuming you're telling me the truth. Look, I treat people the way they treat me. You haven't been an ass with me, and I'm not going to be an ass with you. I'm not that kind of guy. But I'm laying out for you what I've seen here. I can't argue with this. I've done over 2,000 of these. Trust me, when I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing.
You must have slipped up today. I mean, I don't.
What do you think the chances are better that you slipped up and the truth snuck out here that I slipped up?
I know you slipped up, but if you're telling me that I failed that test,
I told you, no certain terms, you did fail that test.
well, then
I showed you.
then it wasn't valid. I mean,
Absolutely valid.
well, listen, I'm telling you, I had nothing to do with it.
Okay, well, that's fine. And I'll tell you, I'll even give you that you had nothing to do with it. Okay?
I know
For
for
some
certain.
purposes here today.
I know for certain I had nothing to do with it, and I know nothing about it.
Well, that I won't. I won't give you.
Well, I mean, that's
Because
just you.
I've shown that. Look, one of the two things is true. Either you know something, and it could be something relatively insignificant that you haven't told me.
I don't know anything. Absolutely nothing.
Well, then why would you be less than candid with me, with the other interview, and in the grand jury?
There's a reason for that.
That's what I'm saying. Explain that to me.
I had nothing to do with this, and I don't know anything about it.
No, no.
You know, just irritation. I mean, that just kind of worked its way into this.
Okay.
You know, I've been 100% honest.
Okay. Well, I guess maybe that's it. Let me ask you that. All right. I'll give you that. When I ask you if you'd be less than candid, that means less than 100% truthful about things. You said you were irritated. Okay. Which I understand. I would be too. True. No doubt about it.
Okay.
Okay. Have I been accused of things in the past that I didn't do? Yeah. Have I been accused of things I did do? Absolutely. Okay. And I've been irritated when I got accused of things I did do because I got caught. And then I got to face up to the consequences. You talk about being irritated in there. Tell me some of the things then. Like, again,
I'm not rehashing all this. I'm just.
No.
I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste mine.
My time is not wasted.
Listen,
We're here talking.
Listen, I don't know nothing about this.
Mhm.
Nothing at all, and I had nothing to do with it. I don't know anything.
Well,
If I had something to tell you, I would. She's got kids.
I'm aware of that.
Okay.
Why do you think we're here?
Okay, look, I don't know nothing.
Well, something you just
Not
said.
even something insignificant.
Clear that up for me, what you just, because I said, why would you be less than candid with me, the other interview in the grand jury? And you said, why would that? Because I was irritated. Okay.
Well, being irritated and being put in front of 12 people and accused of stuff like this, I mean, you're going to forget things and not be able to speak as well as you normally would. I mean, there's more to it than you're saying.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's exactly what I'm asking.
And some of those things you can't explain. I'm not going to sit here and try to explain.
Take your time to relax. Look, as I said, I'm sitting here. I'm here working for you. If there's stuff to explain it. I will take all day with you to fix it.
And it would take all day to go through all this. I mean,
brother, you're on the clock, you're getting paid so much. Give me something else sketchy if you want. Just explain to me what your big concerns are.
I like this examiner.
Why not? It makes no sense.
I'm not going there. Okay.
Well, it's not okay for me.
Well,
look what we're dealing with here. We're talking about potential murder of an individual or an accidental death, right?
And if I do anything, I would help you.
No, stop. We're going to.
I know where you're going with this, man.
Where am I going?
You're going to just bring all this stuff about Crystal. You know, you need to
No.
be, you know.
No,
go ahead.
I told you I wouldn't go this whole read technique stuff with you. Right? What I'm talking about just is what you just said about explaining it to me so I can understand where you're coming from. You don't have to go through a whole life's history unless you want to. You said you were irritated and there's things that you don't know, man. That's what you said to me. Help me to understand what some of those things are that I don't understand. That would then make me understand the reason for this. There can be explanations, is my point.
Yeah, I mean, just this whole process, you know, starting from the chief and going down. I'm not going to do that.
But you said there's things I
don't
know about.
Be shown to him. He'll be irritated, and then he'll be watched. I'm not doing that. It's that simple. I mean,
what do you mean?
You ought to be following me, man. If you're sharp as, if you work for the, you ought to be following me. Okay?
Talk to me like I'm a kid then.
No, I'm not. Okay?
I'm giving you every opportunity.
And I'm telling you, no. Okay? I don't know anything about this.
So that's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. But you said there's things that
I'm
I
not
don't know
going
that
into
would
it.
explain.
I'm not going into it. Okay?
Why not?
Because it's not worth going into.
I would think it'd be very worth going into.
It's not worth going into.
Why not?
Okay? I'm not talking about it, period.
Why not?
Because I'm choosing not to.
Okay, that's fine. But tell me, face to face as a man, I'm not going to tell you the truth. That's all I'm asking.
That's not what I'm just saying.
That's what I'm hearing.
Well, then you need to rethink it.
Well, help me to rethink it.
I'm not going to listen to me. I'm not going into it. Okay? I mean, I'm here to cooperate with your polygraph and all that stuff. And, you know, you can make any kind of notes you want. You can assume that I failed. It didn't bother me.
What is it you haven't told me that's causing such concern?
I'm not going into to everything that's happened. You know, I mean,
like what?
I don't have nothing to do with this. Guys showing up at my house.
Look, this is the first day you and I've met, right?
Yes.
Have I been anything but cordial with you or anything?
And I think I've been the same way with you.
I'm not accusing you of not being.
Okay, there's nothing else to discuss here. Well, I mean, if I had something to give you, I would. I don't.
Put yourself in my seat for just a second.
Okay.
And I'm talking to someone who's a family member, essentially, is missing and possibly dead. And you're sitting here, and that individual, who you know nothing about, never met him.
The first time I watched this, I remember thinking that Nick was slick, but I had watched it right after I watched the interview. I don't know why I thought that now. I really don't, because he's really not that slick. I agree with you, Brittany Blue Eyes. They know he's lying, and he knows that they know. I mean, he's a law enforcement officer. He knows how those polygraph tests work.
For there, right? But you've seen some interviews where he hasn't been completely truthful about things. Not just kind of haven't been completely truthful about a couple.
I've been 100% truthful.
Listen to what I'm saying.
You listen to what I'm saying. I've been 100% truthful.
Why are you yelling at me?
Well, because you're telling me I'm lying, and I know I'm not. I know the truth, you know? And I'm being 100% honest with you, the grand jury, and everybody else I've spoken to.
Here's what I'm getting. We just said.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
I most definitely have. And if you don't want to believe it, that's your issue. It's not mine.
It's not just me. I showed you.
Dude, I don't give a goddamn what your fucking computer said.
I
Okay?
think you do.
I'm telling you that I have been 100% honest with you.
Is this how you act? Does this act this way towards Crystal?
When somebody, is this how I act toward Crystal? I act toward people that accuse me of lying when I'm not lying. That's how I act. No, I didn't know Crystal.
Well, why are you getting so angry?
Because you're calling me a fucking liar.
No, I'm just calling you a liar.
Okay? I don't like it when people call me a liar. I'm being 100% truthful with you.
Tell me the truth about what you said.
He likes to talk about how much percentage of truth he's telling, don't he? Oh. Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
And look at you. I'm being truthful.
Okay, we're not 2 year olds, all right?
Okay.
So it's not, yes, I am, no, I'm not. Yes, I am, no, I'm not. We're talking. I've been nothing but professional to you, trying to help you in this
Okay.
situation.
Other than calling me a liar when I'm not.
Look, if the right thing to do is to tell you you're not being truthful, then I'm going to tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Look, I don't care. Little lies, big lies, they're all the same in terms of the polygraph.
I haven't told you any lies.
That's not entirely true.
It is 100% true.
Well, then help me to figure this out.
Okay.
What you just told me a moment ago, maybe explain it to me so that maybe I misunderstood what you're telling me. But you told me because you were irritated and there's all kinds of things that I don't know about, whatever, then I can't understand why you would say the things you said. That's what you
It's
did.
just been an experience.
Well,
All this is going on.
but
You
that's
got
what I'm
guys showing
asking
up over at my house taking cars. I mean, this is crazy.
Okay, that's what I'm asking about. Are we talking about because of things that have been going on since it's happened, or are you talking about there's things that have gone on over time that I'm not understanding?
No, I'm talking about recently.
Okay, well, how am I supposed to know that?
Yeah, I mean, this is simple stuff, man. I mean, I have been 100% honest with you, and surely God, you can understand with people showing up at my house and my family out there taking cars. The neighbors are watching. Man, it's been screwed up.
Of course I can understand.
Okay,
But I wasn't there. How do I know all this?
Well, man, you just assume. I mean, if you were a patrol officer and you got your chief showing up, and I mean, dude, that's crazy. Who the hell?
Professional.
I mean, listen, they come up with all these lies about, well, there's bodily fluid in your car, there's blood. There is no way in hell there is any blood in that car.
I have no idea.
Everybody's told me that. You know, like speak with the state police, that's the first thing they said. Grand jury, I mean, it's crazy.
But I'm not them, right?
Okay, but I'm just saying this is crazy.
It may be. All I'm saying, look, I'm not battling for all this stuff. The evidence will speak for itself, right?
Sure.
So it really doesn't matter what people want to say or not. The evidence that I've told you about that I can demonstrate are things that we already do have back that I can show.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't think they're anything that paint you in a horrible light. They show discrepancies with what you've said. Well, there may be a very clear reason for that.
There is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. Look, when I accuse you of lying over here, okay, and lies are bad one. Nobody wants to hear lies. We've all lied in our lives. I don't care who you are. I have, no doubt about it. We all have. Nobody wants to hear that. But somebody who's telling a lie, it's the same thing as saying they're not being completely truthful, right? Okay, that's a little prettier way of saying it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's the same thing. I'm not saying you're so dishonest, you sort of vision. That's not what I'm saying.
What I'm saying is today with you, I have been 100% honest, and I don't know nothing about it. That's what I'm saying.
Well, and I'm saying that that's not entirely true, but it could be.
I mean,
but listen to what I'm saying here. Okay, you just want to get mad and defense about it. Hear what I'm saying. Okay,
go ahead.
Because I'm truthful. I'm going to be completely truthful,
Okay.
as I have been. A person would fail a polygraph on the questions that I asked you on a spectrum of issues, whether it be, yeah, you were out there and watched her get shot and killed by somebody. And again, I'm making that up, all right? You would fail if that had happened and you told me you knew nothing about it, right? Obviously. On the far end of the spectrum. If there's something you know about in your mind that you haven't told me or other investigators, could be about as simple as you saw an argument one time, and again, I'm making it up. You saw an argument between Brooks and Crystal a year ago where she pushed him.
They've never been physical with one another.
I'm making.
I think he explains this well.
The bigger picture is you would fail a polygraph on something that simple or something that dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It could be anything in between. I'm not assuming it's a worst case. In fact, I'm assuming it's something you just haven't got off your chest with me or someone else. That's all I'm saying. Is it a little more clear what I'm talking about?
It is, but there's nothing on my chest.
Well, but here's the thing, and I think that there is.
Okay.
And again, I'm not assuming that it's something huge and dramatic. It may be. I can't tell you what this thing is going into your brain and telling you this is what you're seeing. That's not what I'm saying. All this does is tells me, do you, not me, do you feel you are being completely truthful or do you not? And it is telling me you do not feel you're being completely truthful. Well, that's okay. Your level of what's truthfulness may be a little different than mine. That's why I take the time to explain what I'm asking and why I'm asking it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clear when I ask that question, you can confidently say yes or no. Well, obviously, with those two questions in particular, about Crystal and about whether you're hiding any information, there's something that you weren't confident enough to say with 100% certainty. There's some other thing, and it may be a personal family issue, for all I know, that you feel, and frankly, I think it's probably something along those lines, that you feel, well, man, if I tell them that, they're going to think that he's just evil or he did something terrible. I'm not going to think.
If anything stands out in mind, I'll tell you.
Well, then looking back at, when you think about this investigation, and not about other investigators and else, the investigation and what happened to Crystal and how that's affecting your brother and his child. With all this, when you sit at home at night and laying in bed and you think about what's your biggest concern, and looking back, because we all do, we all are analytical in law enforcement. We think about everything that's ever happened, right? And you start assessing this. You may not discuss it with everybody else. I get that. People handle emotions in different ways, especially in traumatic circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am an internal person. But I guarantee you that means I think about it inside more than I'm talking about it to other people. What I'm saying is, when you're sitting there at night, you're thinking about it. Maybe you talked to Brooks, but maybe you didn't. What is it? Where's your mind focus on something that you look back at and go, man, maybe that's something that I should have talked to Brooks about, or maybe that's something that might have had something to do with it. Where do you focus? These are just suspicions in your mind, right? But what do you think about? That's what cops do. That's what we do. Where does your mind land at when you think about this?
I don't know. I mean, I just I didn't know Crystal. I didn't know Chris. I don't really know my neighbor. I'm really sad.
I get it.
I mean, I just wasn't around them. I never really saw them argue anything. If they did it away from me. I don't.
Well, that's fine. And if they did argue in front of you, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people argue. So what? My point is there's things, anyone along that nature, or even a comment that Brooks has made before or after she went missing, that may cause you some pause in your mind. That may be enough, potentially, to cause you to have an issue involved. It's just, I can't believe, I don't know what you know. I only know, do you believe you're being truthful? And you don't feel you're being 100% truthful, as you said. Maybe you're being 99 now. I don't know.
Man, I don't know. I mean, if I did, I'd tell you. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I can't just make something up, you know, and throw it at you. I mean,
No, I asked you to. That's why I'm asking
Yeah.
you to tell me the truth and what you see. The way it works doesn't. Suspicions don't do anything. Wondering, thinking, oh gosh, I don't know, what could it be? That has nothing to do with it. You only respond the way you do. Your physiological signature of somebody who's thinking about this specific thing, between in your mind. And again, I have no idea what that thing is. It could be something horrible. It could be something very explainable. But only you know what that is. And that's what I'm getting at, is trying to get you to just say, this is the thing that I was thinking about and some concerned about. And at that point, I'm like, okay, well, that's probably explains.
He can't say he wasn't given every opportunity to come clean.
It's what we do. When people initially say, no, nothing about nothing, and it turns out as a sitting later night, they go, okay, I do know a little bit about something, but it's probably not important, but I'm going to have told you I don't know anything, so if I tell you this, you're going to think I'm lying to you. That's not the case.
Man, nothing stands out. I mean, I wish I could come up with something, but I can't. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, I've been 100% truthful with you. You know, I mean, I can't think of any examples. They never gotten, as far, I don't think Brooks would ever got physical with her. I really didn't see them argue. I mean, I ain't got nothing to give you.
Well, and I'm glad you said it, because everything from what little I've talked to people about Brooks in particular, about you too, there's not a history of violence and that kind of stuff, no domestic accusations, no. Which means that whatever happened here was likely, you know, again, I hate to use the word accident, but it was, I say, unintended, because people can get pushed and shoved, and I don't know, I haven't even seen her. How big is she? How big is she?
100 and, I don't know, maybe 150 pounds or something.
Yeah, so to me, that's big, but he's bigger than she is.
Yeah. Okay.
And men being men, women, they get hot-headed, and they started pushing and shoving and screaming and throwing tantrums and all that.
Yeah.
So not all right to throw a blanket.
Yeah, this examiner is give him every out that he could give him. I mean, even gave him ideas, so there's no reason for him not to talk.
But a lot do. And all I'm saying is, in those situations, if it's a situation where she got mad and she pushed or shoved and he defended not going to hit a woman, it could be as simple as in the course of that, she fell and hit her head on something. For all I know. Again, I'm making up, I don't know. But in those circumstances, that's a really easy answer to what's occurred here. You're not going to find it, we're going to know.
No doubt.
But the time to hear about those things, what actually happened out there.
I'm going to see how they sound on 1.5 speed right now.
I don't know where she's at. I didn't have nothing to do with it. I'm telling you, that's the way it is. I mean, I don't know, you know, if you watch the grand jury testimony or my interview with the state police, I mean, you know, sometimes I don't speak well. Like, sometimes when I go to court, I've got my report in front of me. I read word for word. I just don't remember all that stuff. And then you put 12 people in front of me, they start asking you a bunch of silly questions.
Yeah,
I mean, stuff just like that. I mean, I don't respond to that.
I get that. I don't like speaking in front of a jury, even 12 people under. I hate testifying. It's what we got to do. But I'm also a student of people. That's what a master's degree is. So when I watch the interviews, I don't just listen, but I listen to what's being said, how it's being said, statement analysis, kinesics, physiology, what people are doing in the room. And you can turn off the sound in some of those interviews and see spots where an objective interviewer would point and go, you're not being completely truthful right there. Well, I did leave the sound on, so I listened to some of those spots. Again, I don't think they're huge critical issues. And it may be as simple as what you said earlier, that because of irritation and accusations, you just decided you're not going to tell people about whatever, fill in the blank.
Well, it's not that I didn't tell them. It's just that, you know, a lot of that stuff I didn't remember, you know, and I'm not going to start making stuff up or tweak it in any way. I'll just straight up tell you, I don't remember. If I don't, I'm not going to make something up.
Absolutely, I get that. And I'm not, I wouldn't want you to say something that you didn't know. I mean, that could be that by definition.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is, I mean, all the politicians, Hillary Clinton is a prime example, right? And I'm older than you, but looking back at the Whitewater days, way back when she was interviewed, her husband was interviewed. So we use those as studies and interview interrogation. And what do they say more often than any other? What's the phrase they use?
I don't know. I'm not
that's actually what they say. They say, I don't recall.
Oh, I see.
And when it's clear that they do. And so,
and we know that Nick doesn't know a lot because that's his favorite go-to. I don't know. I don't know.
But that's certainly a viable option. But when you couple those statements with all the other things going on in the room, and then when in some of those instances, not all, but there were a few, where we can physically say, well, no, but he just said, when you didn't say I don't recall, you said I was here or I was not there. And they asked you several times, were you ever there? You said no. And we can show, well, yeah, here's the evidence that shows you were there.
If you're talking about the vehicles in the driveway, they harped on that and harped on that. I mean, they must ask that question 10 times. I mean, we may have been, I don't know.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as that, I think at the end of the day, you were, you changed your answers up some with that to be as truthful as I think you could be. When you said, no, I don't think we were there, and I don't think, and ultimately we have, and we could have been, well, we can tell whether you were or there. That's simple. So whether you recall or not, you were, so I don't care. But what I'm talking about are other times that I haven't given you the evidence on here today. I've asked you questions about where you were or where you were not, and you were definitive. It wasn't, well, I don't think it was. I could have been. No, absolutely not. Okay. Well, and again, it's not a huge issue in the grand scheme of things in terms of you being in a certain spot or not being there. But if I already know the answer to that, the truth, the ground truth, as we say in polygraph, and you're saying something other than what I know I can prove, it raises questions in my mind.
That's not happening.
But it is my point.
Okay, whatever.
My point is,
I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you've heard, but I'm just telling you, I didn't do it. I don't know nothing about it. I don't know anything about it. My brother, and I can tell you, I know him well enough. He didn't do it. It's just the way it is. I mean,
Have you ever known somebody that you said wouldn't do something and it turns out they did?
I'm sure I have. It wasn't my brother.
That's right. So you're choosing to believe.
Because I know him real well.
I understand.
Yeah. Yes, I am.
And if it's my brother, I'm gonna feel the same way.
Okay.
My point being is just because you feel that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
I mean, I feel 100%. Not 96, not 98. I mean, there's just no. This is crazy. He would not have done that.
But what you're saying is you believe him at the end of the day.
Well, it's not that I believe because I haven't questioned him about it. You know, I haven't. That's
Why would?
because I know him well enough. I don't have to ask him that question.
Okay. Well, I guess what I'm asking really is this. Not. I don't think I would ask my brother if he did it or didn't. I don't think I would. But what I would do as an investigator is use a police officer. If she's missing, and you believe you know anything to do with it, I would investigate and want to question him and say, look, what do you think happened here? How do we find her? How do we get her back? What do you want me to do about this? You know, that kind of thing. Those are conversations I have had with my family, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering why you haven't had those kinds of conversations. Or maybe you have.
We've talked briefly about it.
Well, talk to me a little bit about those conversations.
I mean, I don't really remember word for word. We spoke very little about it.
You're not
I'm not investigating it.
remember,
I mean,
man.
a lot of people have asked why we're not out there looking with their family members jumping out in the road giving us. I'm not going to get out in the woods and have somebody in the threaten me or something. And I've got to do something similar.
But what I'm asking is, you don't have to go up here or anything. I'm not asking you to remember specifically. I'm just talking in generalities. Tell me about, were the conversations like what I just described? Hey, what's going on? What do you think happened? How can I help?
I mean, I don't remember those. I mean, I'm not going to start making stuff up. And I'm just not
Well,
going to do it.
let me ask this then. If you're me here, maybe reasons, would it not strike you extremely odd?
I just think things get screwed up. You know, I'm not going there. I mean,
Do you want to help him find her?
of course I want to help find her.
Well,
I want her to walk in his door right now. You don't screw this whole mess up, you know?
Absolutely. But for that point, that's what I'm saying. Didn't you ask him, hey, what can I do to help?
I mean, we really haven't been around a lot, you know, around each other a lot, you know? We've been out there to the farm a few times. Both of us are just incredibly busy. I didn't know Crystal, you know? He's dealing with this. I'm not gonna stress him out about it.
Yeah, but aren't you going to help?
Nick didn't know nothing.
But what can we do?
He don't know. He don't know
That's
nothing.
what you ask him. What can I do?
There's nothing we can do, you know?
She's just gone.
I mean, hopefully, like I said, she'll show up any minute. And if not, obviously you guys are gonna find her at some point. Find out how she was killed. Is there evidence on her fingernails? All this stuff. And it's not gonna point toward him or me.
Who would it want to?
Well, how the hell would I know that?
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm not investigating the crime. I don't know.
Do you have any suspicions of anybody?
I do not. I didn't hang around Crystal. I don't know her husband. I don't know her ex-husband. I don't know those people. If I had anything to throw out at you, I'd do it.
Would you?
Most definitely.
What about other investigators?
What about them?
Would you tell them?
I would tell other investigators, I don't do much care for Jon Snow, but the rest of them, I don't have a problem with them.
Okay.
State police, Mike Kaminsky's a good guy. Ed Madley's a good guy.
I don't know. Is it detective stuff? Is there?
Yes.
I don't know him other than.
He's only admitted that he lies in court. I just can't deal with a guy like that.
Okay. Did he admit that to you or something?
He admitted it to a bunch of them. So in Squadron, there's half a dozen of us over there. You know, I'm not going to get 20 guy like that. And my brother, I mean, I know he had nothing to do with it, but I don't want things to get screwed up either.
Well, I agree.
You know, I want this done right.
I think we all do. Would there be a reason that Brooks would say that he did discuss asking you for any help on his matter?
No, there's no way he said that. No reason, no way, 100% not.
I know they asked you about it, but I know when he was being interviewed, you called him basically.
Yeah, he was with Jon Snow. He was with Jon Snow
Was
for
that
hours.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I called up there. Brooks is a really cooperative guy. He's honest. You know, and I just basically, I didn't tell him to leave. I told him, I said, go ahead and finish up your, he was giving a narrative or whatever with my statement. I said, it's fine to give that. I said, say what you mean what you say. You know, I asked him, are they screwing you around? They asking the same questions, a bunch of different ways. Because he's been up there for hours. This wasn't no 1 or 2 hours. He may have been up there like 3 hours or 4 hours. It'd been a while. And I figured John's screwing him around. And I just wanted to find out what was going on there. So that's all that was about. If they want to read more into it, that's up to them, you know?
I'm just asking you because I had.
Yeah, he was with Jon Snow, period.
So I'm gathering, I never knew that was Nick's excuse for calling Brooks during his police interrogation, because I know that was a big questionable thing when Nick called him frustrated. But I didn't know that's the reason that he gave, is that it's because Jon Snow was dishonest. So that's interesting. I liked Jon Snow. I thought that he done a good interrogation.
Was that the same interview when Ryan from State Police?
Yes, major red
I don't have any
flags.
idea if I'm here. I know Ryan and another guy interviewed me, but I don't think that the state police have interviewed Brooks.
I
There
didn't.
was a bigger guy. He was probably about, I don't know, blonde hair, short, kind of heavier set guy, maybe about my height. $250, $240, something like that. And then there was Ryan Johnson's with him. So,
You ever seen Brooks lose his temper?
hardly ever.
Hardly ever. What about in those rare occasions when he did?
I tell you, I can't even think of an example where he's just went off the, you know, I mean, every once in a while he may, you know, mess up on a house or something like that, you know, but I mean, Brooks just, he's a pretty calm, laid back dude. He's not, you know, I mean, he doesn't take medication. He is level headed. I mean, he keeps up with about 100 rental property. He builds 8 or 10 houses all the time. I mean, he's just,
He's younger than you.
he's younger than me.
I look up to you.
I think a lot of times Brooks thinks he's over me, you know, I mean, it just depends. I
Is he
mean,
a leader or a follower?
I think both of us somewhat are leaders.
What about when the two of you together? Who's leader? Not what you realistically.
I don't know. I'm not going to
Fair
say
enough. That's why I asked.
I don't want to put him down.
That tells me that makes you the leader, so I understand. What else haven't we talked about that might clear this up?
If I do, I tell you.
Would you?
Yes.
If there was something that you knew would be helpful, but you felt you were not comfortable telling me or someone else, would you look in the eye and say, there's some other stuff, I just prefer not to talk to you about it?
You saying whether to take us here and then just call you?
No, you right now, as I'm talking, if there are other things that you do know about, that you're just simply not comfortable talking to me about, would you look me in the eye now and tell me there's some other things, but I would just be done with it?
Yeah, I'll tell you that. I'll straight up tell you that.
And are there some other things you just do not discuss with me?
No.
Anything else I have not asked you about today that in any way could be helpful?
No.
Think I've treated you fairly today?
I think you had.
I've been professional with you?
Yes, sir.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at you?
Nope.
Have you yelled or screamed or cussed at me?
A little bit.
And I understand that, okay?
Okay.
All right. We'll step back out. We'll grab Ryan here and I'm assuming he's back to work here.
Sound good to me?
All right, appreciate you coming in.
All right.
Well, there you have it. So we've made it through Brooks Hauk's interrogation. We've made it through Nick Hauk's interview, and now his polygraph results. We know that Brooks was inconclusive, and then if I'm not mistaken, he might have passed one, but I'm not 110% sure on that. We know I'm not the expert in this case. Now we know even more information, as I'm sure most of you had already seen. Steve Lawson's attorney came out and gave us more details than we've had in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and go over that since I have time at the moment. I really wanted to come live the other night. I just couldn't. Baby wouldn't allow it. Okay, let's see here. I think this is the video. I would rather watch the video than sit here and read it to you.
It's her car. It was abandoned on the side of the Bluegrass Parkway with her keys, phone, and purse still inside. Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing details on how it could have ended up there. It is our top story here tonight at 6. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Doug Prophet. That car, a point of key speculation for years. And tonight, WHAS 11 Shay McAllister is here with the new answers on what you learned today from an attorney. Shay?
That's right, Doug. All of this new information coming from attorney Theodore Lavitt, who represents the newly arrested man, Steve Lawson. The attorney says his client had nothing to do with the death of Crystal Rogers, but was providing police with critical information in exchange for immunity. Immunity that came to an end with last week's indictment.
I did not hurt Crystal and was not involved in hurting Crystal. I didn't plan to hurt Crystal. I didn't conspire to hurt Crystal. Those are his statements.
Attorney Theodore Lavitt says his client, Steve Lawson, wasn't involved in the death of Crystal Rogers.
He was an employee, part-time employee of Hauk. He had an association with Hauk. Mr. Hauk had
Remember, Steve Lawson is the one that Brooks called during his interrogation.
That's the extent of my client's involvement.
Conversations like this one.
Hey, Steve.
From inside the Nelson County Sheriff's Office interrogation room just days after Crystal was first reported missing.
I just want to tell you I'm sorry about everything that's going on in your life, brother. I got you in my prayers. I said it is a very difficult and trying time, but I appreciate you saying that.
What do you make of that phone call?
It was a set-up phone call. One was supposed to call the other, and the ring came in, and they spoke.
The attorney says Steve wasn't involved in the murder, but that he does have valuable information shared with police over more than a dozen meetings throughout the last year.
They chose to indict him rather than give him the immunity that he was promised.
Oh, so he had been in discussions with them?
He has, and I have.
Regarding some sort of deal?
Immunity.
to say what he knows.
What's known as transactional immunity.
Lavette says Steve's information dates back to the weekend Crystal disappeared, when Crystal's maroon sedan, later towed away as evidence by the FBI, was abandoned on the Bluegrass Parkway with her keys, phone, and purse inside. The attorney says it was Joseph Lawson, Steve's son, who drove the car to the highway.
It was driven out there by Joey Lawson. He had a flat tire at that mile marker, and my client received a phone call, went out there and got him, brought him back.
The attorney says Steve doesn't know where the car was going or why his son was driving it, but he does have reason to believe police have built a case around solicitation. Do you think that Brooks Houck paid Joseph Lawson to help in the murder of Crystal Rogers?
I think the Commonwealth has been trying to establish that a payment was made. As to who that payment was made to and when it was made, I'm not privy to that information yet.
But the attorney thinks that information could soon be made public, pointing to next week's court date, when Steve Lawson will go in front of a Nelson County judge for the first time. At Brooks Houck's arraignment, there was a lot of bombshells dropped. Do you think we'll hear something similar?
I do. And as we move on, the Commonwealth's ready to move on after all these 8.5 years. I would say that we're going to hear some things in court that we haven't heard before.
And we certainly do expect the details in this case will just keep coming. So here's the court dates to keep an eye on. Steve Lawson has arraignment on December 21st. That is just next week. And then his son, Joseph Lawson, will be in court in January. Brooks Houck will be in court next on February the 8th.
There we have it. There's the update. So now we know that Joseph Lawson was the one that took Crystal Rogers' car to the parkway. And I thought that was cool to have some new information. Yeah, so we're all up to date now on Crystal Rogers' case until I think the next court date is maybe December 20 something, maybe the 21st. I'm not 110% sure, but I'll get that information. But after Steve Lawson has his, I think it's his arraignment maybe, after he's arraigned and all that good stuff, if there should be something come out, or if something comes out before then, we'll just talk about it. But until then, we're all caught up. I may come back on live later today or tomorrow around this time and chat with you guys a bit about DJ Whitt. His vigil is coming up this Saturday. So if you're in or near Casey County, Kentucky, come out and join us at the Doughboy. We're just out there going to try to raise awareness and try to get some, media attention out there. LEX 18 is supposed to be out there. So, we're just trying to get his face out there because he's still missing. I don't have a picture to share at the moment of him, or I would. Let me see if I can get one up here. No, I can't from this. But I'll be coming back live later, and we'll be going over DJ Whitt's case and just what happened leading up to his disappearance and his interaction with law enforcement and things of that nature and what we know now. The 21st, Brittany. Okay, yeah, guys. And Brittany Blue Eyes she's on TikTok. I literally usually find out these things first over there before I come live on them here because she's on top of it when it comes to the Crystal Rogers case. But yeah, she says the 21st, and you can count on that. So Steve Lawson will be in court the 21st, and that'll probably be our next update. And I'll see you guys then about the Crystal Rogers case. But later today or tomorrow around this time, I'll be back on about DJ Whitt and kind of give more details about the vigil. But until then, I have nothing more. Thank you guys for coming by and saying hello. FarQ, I hope you get to feeling better. Brittany, have yourself a wonderful rest of your night. I'm going to go and try to grab a little more sleep while I can. And see you later. Bye.